Welcome to Boy Mouse.
Mouse, mice guys finished last.
Yeah. I'm Joel Willick,
And I'm Kira,
and this is our
resident Mickey Mouse expert.
this is our podcast where we talk about animated mice.
I have a PhD in Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. And I'm an undergraduate in animated feature films with a minor in
Rats.
rodents. Yeah,
Oh,
rats.
rat rodents.
Specifically. Yeah, you're right. I don't it is technically just rats, but I like to say rodents to
Yeah, maybe rodents is the minor, but rats is kind of like the career path you see yourself going down.
No, technically it is just rats. But
rodents, like...
I like to say rodents because
That makes sense, because not everyone might have heard of rats, but they'll know rodents, like, as a general group.
Yeah. I want to keep my major general.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a list of some animated mice. I'm just going to go down and we can talk about some of them.
Okay, I obviously know all of them. I had them written down on a list, but they were on my computer, and now my computer's in another room, so I committed them all to memory. And also, I just know them all by heart anyway.
What was your thesis about?
Mickey Mouse. It very specifically focused on the Mickey Mouse actor theory.
Okay, what is this?
Is the theory concerned with Mickey Mouse's role as a person living in this world? So Mickey Mouse is in a lot of different movies, and in those movies he has a lot of different roles. He lives in a lot of different shoes and gloves and hats.
Uh-huh.
And my theory is that, particularly in the movie Fantasia, Mickey Mouse is the sorcerer's apprentice. But Mickey...
Like he plays the sorcerer's apprentice.
Yeah, essentially, Mickey Mouse is not the sorcerer's apprentice in the true canon of Mickey Mouse's existence. Mickey Mouse is an actor playing the sorcerer's apprentice. And in the Steamboat Willie animation, Mickey Mouse is the actor playing Steamboat Willie. Because his name isn't even Willie, it's Mickey.
I thought it was because at the time his name was Willie Mouse.
No, his name was never Willie Mouse. His name was Mortimer Mouse at first.
Okay.
And I saw that on Google a long time ago, not like a minute ago.
Yeah. Yeah, because of your long period of research.
Yeah, I've done a lot of research before today, especially before like this hour.
So is Mickey Mouse even a mouse?
Yeah.
He's definitely a mouse. Does he like cheese?
I think if he does like cheese, he keeps that as part of his private life.
Because it's never documented,
yeah,
really.
He's never, in his movies, in his multiple roles, he's never really shown eating cheese, being chased by a cat, getting caught in a mousetrap. No one ever sets out a mousetrap with the intention of catching Mickey Mouse.
Like, does that not really... I feel like that probably occurs in one of the films. Where,
I don't think so.
Where, like, one of the villains is like, haha, I'll get this fucking mouse, and he, like, puts out a giant Mickey Mouse-sized mousetrap in a large piece of frozen peanut butter or whatever Mickey Mouse has ever been recorded to like.
He would like cheese.
Well, that's not proven.
If someone's putting a mousetrap for him, they would put cheese in it.
Yeah,
also,
but maybe it's like a Minnie's bow or something. Something that they know he likes. And then he goes and the mousetrap springs shut and violently kills his humanoid body.
I don't think they would ever do that.
In a very
to
gory
Mickey Mouse.
way.
Also, since you said fucking, this podcast is now R-rated. So we have to make a disclaimer at the beginning that says, watch out, this has the fuck word.
Is that
Watch out.
Wait, but if that's the disclaimer, if the disclaimer is that it has the fuck word, wouldn't that need a disclaimer before it? Because we said the word that caused it to be R-rated.
So then it should have another disclaimer before it that says, cover your ears. Or
if you're a child, cover your ears for the next 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then they can't hear the second disclaimer, which is the one that is warning about the F
Yeah.
word.
Or it could just say, if you don't want to hear a bad word, go away now.
Yeah, please leave.
Yeah, just go away. Just go.
The podcast can continue to play.
Yeah, but
like take your headphones off and go and play a board game in another room.
Yeah. make sure you're not listening to
a
this.
not R-rated board game. Because you're a
Yeah.
child, like a PG-13
Go
board
play
game.
ball and hoop or whatever. Go play stick and hula hoop
Yeah.
in the streets.
Okay.
That's what kids like. And
Back-
Fortnite. Go
back-
play Fortnite.
So back to the
Rat Boy Genius is another rodent.
Rat Boy Genius.
Another fictional rodent.
I thought this
that
was
would never...
I thought this podcast was about mice.
Rat Boy Genius is a mouse.
Oh, okay.
But Rat Boy Genius is another very good example of a mouse who would never be caught in a mouse trap. He might be caught in other traps by his enemy Little King John, but he would never be caught in a mouse trap.
So obviously, I am well acquainted with Rat Boy Genius because I have my minor in rodents.
Yes.
But for the viewers, all of them,
Why don't
they
you
don't know what
describe-
Rat Boy Genius is. Yeah. So can you tell the viewers, and I'll just listen,
Oh, okay.
and
yeah.
so I can know.
So Rat Boy Genius is yellow. He's rendered smoothly. His vertices are all smoothly rendered around his head.
Is he 2D?
has- No, he's 3D. He's 3D rendered.
Okay.
And he's rendered smooth and yellow.
His
And
skin is yellow.
His skin is yellow, yeah. And he has pointy nose and circle ears and kind of beady eyes. And his neck kind of tapers upward. And he wears clothing. And he lives in a Minecraft.
Whoa.
world.
What kind of clothing?
I don't know. I assume he can change it out.
Does he?
In my mind's eye, it's purple.
Well, I just have a pencil.
Okay, well.
I'm drawing
I have
him,
I have
and
colored
then
pencils if you
I'll
want.
I'll point it towards the microphone
Okay.
so that
Well, how
the
about-
viewer can see a picture
How
of
about
him.
after you're done drawing your drawing, you can show it to me and I'll describe your drawing to the viewers.
Okay.
And I can get a colored pencil if you want. Well,
No,
in the
it's
meantime-
it's fine. I'll
I'll
just write
describe-
purple on it.
Okay. I'll describe Little King John too. Little King
Okay.
John is kind of the same character model as Rat Boy Genius, you might say,
Uh-huh.
except he's pink and he has a little crown.
So King John is also a rat or mouse. I mean,
Mouse. I believe so, yeah.
what sort of hijinks do they get into?
Well, Little King John loves potato knishes. And
Is this a Jewish show?
no, he just really likes them. But he also likes centipedes and little black squash balls. He has a machine that can turn little black squash balls into centipedes. And they like to go on roller coasters, and a flood almost destroys the world, I believe. And Rat Boy Genius is somehow involved.
he's
I haven't
he's
seen
there.
these videos in a long time.
He's there, I think. Wait, what is this? Can you tell the viewers what channel this program's on, or where they can view this media?
YouTube.com.
This is like this was not produced by a television company or a.
No.
Okay.
No one knows who made it.
No one knows.
No one knows.
That's like one of the mysteries of.
Of Rat Boy Genius.
Oh, I thought like one of the great mysteries of the animated mouse world.
Yeah, you could even say that.
That's what I was thinking I might write my thesis on, but I'm still I don't think I'm gonna graduate for the next 6 years.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest mysteries.
'Cause
It's
there's-
right up there with who are Chuck E. Cheese's parents.
Yeah. Well, their last name's probably Cheese.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's that many mice with the last name Cheese.
Well, cheese is probably a pretty common name for mice. It's like mouse and cheese are some of the most common.
No, but that's kind of derogatory, I would say. Well, it's like
think
alright.
of all the mice you know. Mickey
Think of-
Mouse, Minnie Mouse. Except
Yeah,
they're
but that's
married.
not necessarily a representative sample.
Yeah,
Well,
but
but
all
like
the mice in
like
media.
the humans that I can think of that have food as their last name is like Francis Bacon, and that's it. Like I can't think of any others.
Well, mouse isn't a food for mice.
Yeah, but I'm saying specifically just like cheese as a last name.
Well, what
Like,
else is a food for a mouse?
I think they eat like seeds probably, grapes.
I guess.
See, I don't actually. My minor on rodents
Well,
is just
here's
animated
another.
rodents, so I
Ralph
know
S.
nothing
Mouse.
about real rodents.
Ralph S. Mouse is another mouse with the last name Mouse,
Ralph
completely unrelated to Mickey. Ralph S. Mouse is the mouse who rides the motorcycle. From Ralph and the Motorcycle.
No, they're cousins.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
No, I think
Mickey and Ralph share the same dad.
I don't think so.
That's not how cousins work. They share the same grandparents.
That wouldn't make them cousins. Yeah.
They have the same
But
grandpa and grandma, but on opposite sides.
I think Mickey Mouse is a stage name for Mortimer Mouse.
Oh, well, I would
Or at
know
least
that
that was
because
his
of your
first name.
your paper that I've read.
Yeah. Well, if Ralph S. Mouse and Mickey Mouse were truly cousins, they would have to be very far removed cousins. Or it could be that, well, here's another theory that I have about Mickey Mouse.
Okay, let me hit me.
I call this the Shamu theory. And this is a theory suggesting that, okay, well, the lifespan of a mouse is 2 years.
Well,
But the debut of Steamboat Willie, which was Mickey Mouse's debut performance, was 91 years ago. And there's no possible way that a mouse could have lived that long. Therefore, I think they keep replacing him as they keep replacing the whale Shamu, and its name continues to be Shamu in every generation, except with Mickey Mouse. Like, they keep getting a new mouse and naming him Mickey. That's what I think.
Well, isn't it documented that Disney has some sort of magic somewhere in the Disney
their
vault?
movies.
Yeah, which is Mickey Mouse is in the movies usually. So I would think if they were to use the magic on anyone, it would be to help Mickey achieve eternal youth.
Oh. I guess so. That's an interesting thought.
I like the Shamu ID.
Do you think they also use that magic on Minnie and the rest of his family though? Because that'd
No,
be pretty sad.
he has to stay the same age as he watches everyone he knows and love be replaced by actors who look identical to the people he once knew.
Up. So they are Shamu replacing his wife and his father.
Yeah, I did an interview with someone who knew Mickey Mouse.
Oh wow.
And that's what he said. Is that Mickey has to wear so much makeup to cover up his cry lines that he always has.
Oh, so what does he really look like?
Like, he looks like 3 circles, but with a lot of cry lines.
So he doesn't really have eyes. That explains everything. That
No.
really explains a lot.
That's like the shape of him.
Oh.
But you know what Mickey Mouse looks like, I think.
Of course I know what Mickey Mouse looks like.
All right, whoa, so
I know everything about what Mickey Mouse looks like.
I have right here, it says in my notes, a one-dimensional graph that goes from mouse to human, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has, in the middle, you have a half mouse, half human, right? And
that would be Ratboy Genius, probably.
Yeah, he's right on the line. But there's different characteristics that make you more human or less mouse or vice versa. So I would say, and I'm not exactly sure where these characteristics lie on the line or whether or not they even concretely lie on the line, because I'll say what they are. Understanding English.
That's a pretty big one.
Being bipedal. Talking.
Well, all mice could be somewhat bipedal.
Yeah, but like being eternally bipedal and having like a muscle structure to allow them to have
having hands.
Having hands is definitely more in the human direction of the chart. Being mouse sized or human sized, right? Or like somewhere in the middle. And then having more or less mouse features. And so like fur or whiskers. Like Mickey Mouse doesn't have whiskers.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse is basically human.
Yeah, he's a human that has giant ears.
And nose.
And that's it. Like he
has a tail.
He could be, but he has thumbs, right? Noticeably. Yeah. He could just be a tiny human with a fake tail and a mask.
Well,
like
how big
Mickey Mouse could be a furry.
Hold the phone.
Okay.
How big is Mickey Mouse? Because he's almost as big as Daffy Duck and almost as big as Goofy.
Yeah. Well,
he's not tiny compared to them. When they're standing side by side.
Yeah.
They
are Daffy Duck and Goofy duck and dog sized respectively, or are they all human sized?
Well, one option that they're duck and dog sized would make Mickey Mouse about duck sized.
Uh-huh.
But if they're all mouse, if Mickey Mouse is accurate size, then Daffy Duck is like 5 inches tall, and Goofy is like 7 inches tall, which I don't like for a dog or a duck.
Yeah, those are like really.
That makes me uncomfortable.
I do think some baby dogs and baby ducks are that size.
But Goofy has a son.
Yeah,
Goofy
they're all documented
and Daffy's
adults.
been in the war.
Yes, Daffy did all of those World War II propaganda commercials.
And doesn't he have 3 sons too? What are those 3 ducks about?
He has nephews.
Nephews.
But they're not mice.
So his
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
supposedly deceased brother, I'm guessing, has 3 sons, which makes him pretty old.
I've watched all of the original DuckTales and some of the new DuckTales. And they never really say what the deal is with their parents. Just that
my God.
They're never there. Like if they're still alive, they're certainly negligent.
So that's gotta be one of the biggest duck mysteries of our time.
Yeah, but that's not for us to say.
Yeah, that's for a different podcast.
That's for someone else to talk about.
That's for Duck the podcast.
Duck Meets World. Duck guys finish last.
Duck, go duck yourself.
Yeah, that'll be your slogan.
No, the enemy slogan.
The enemy? There are enemies? We're all part of academia.
There are opponents. Maybe like frenemies. We have like a healthy rivalry.
Yeah, we have like a.
We have like competition with them, but we support each other ultimately.
A school-wide picnic where we all like. There's like a barbecue, and then they have a competition where it's like the wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
And we gotta go really fast.
It's like Harry Potter.
We're like, your paper only had 15 sources, but it should have had 20.
It's like when Gryffindor and Slytherin hate each other, but when the whole school goes to war or whatever the fuck happens at the end of those books, they are working together.
Oh.
Or in other terms, when Shadow Clan and Thunder Clan in Warrior Cats really hate each other, but when Wind Clan's territory is destroyed and they're having a famine, everyone needs to chip in.
Classic Thundercats. All right, so I've got my Thunder Mice. I've got my graph.
Is this a physical or behavioral trait graph that we're talking?
It's both, and that might be why it's kind of confusing. Actually, that might be a good way to fix it, is instead of being a one-dimensional graph, I can draw out a two-dimensional graph.
Political compass.
Well, it's a two-dimensional graph.
Mickey is authoritarian right.
I'll put him on there.
Yeah, and then just fill in the traits to make that work.
All right, so I would say north is human cognitive. Or
okay, so north and south is cognitive.
And south is mouse cognitive.
So that's behavioral.
Yeah. Well, it's behavioral and like smarts. Like Mickey Mouse is capable of solving problems and like teaching math and shapes.
But solving problems would be a behavioral trait, I think, more than a physical one. If we're
yeah. But I'm using cognitive to represent both behavioral and intelligent features.
Yeah.
And then on the left, I would say mouse physical.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then on the right is human physical.
Yeah.
So on the very top right of our graph.
What would be
it's me in a mouse costume.
Yeah, or it would be like some anime cat girl except a mouse version. It's like in Mean Girls when she's the costume of the mouse.
It's on Wednesdays we were a pink girl. And in the bottom left,
just a literal mouse.
Yeah, well, it's a specific mouse. It's my pet mouse, Gary. Gary, my pet mouse that I own. I'm talking like literally.
There's got
the pet mouse that I have.
Then.
No, it's not.
Except that you don't really own him.
Everything on this chart is fictional?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is like a property that has like a literal pet mouse?
The mouse in The Lion King. I was just thinking about
In
this.
the original Lion King?
Yeah, because Zazu's the bird, and Zazu talks to the lions.
Yeah.
And Timon and Pumbaa are other animals that they talk to.
They're all
the
human
mouse,
cognitive.
He's just gonna eat the mouse, and the mouse doesn't talk. The mouse makes mouse noises.
But does the mouse ever, is the mouse ever clearly aware of its situation?
It's not happy about being held in Scar's hand.
Does it make emotions? Does it have eyebrows or have some sort of human emotion?
No, I think it's purely. I mean, I don't know, but I think it's purely mouse.
Okay.
What other mice are there?
I'm trying to think of. So what I'm saying is I think that is probably towards the bottom left, but all the way in the bottom left, you need something that if I have a mouse with eyebrows, right? The eyebrows allow it to
that moves
emote.
It over a notch into the human
It allows it
direction.
to emote in a more human way, which normal mouse can't. Normal mice can't. So I'm trying to think of some school bully that tortures mice or that mouse.
There's definitely got to be
or
more instances of mouse in media. I think the Lion King's a pretty good example, though.
We'll put him down. So Lion King.
We can brainstorm some more, yeah. It's just because that mouse stands out in contrast with the rest of the characters in a big way.
Top left. So that's mouse. It's all the way human cognitive, but all the way mouse physical.
I would say that's Ralph S. Mouse for sure, because Ralph S. Mouse cannot even talk. He runs on all fours. He acts like a mouse. He eats crumbs, but he also can drive a motorcycle and understands that medicine fixes people.
So no, but then if he can drive a motorcycle, he's a little bit human physical. I mean, I'll put him on there.
Well, he does it with mouse hands. He doesn't. There's definitely nothing about him that's non-complete mouse.
For this, I was thinking of Flowers for Algernon. I think that's the name of the book.
I don't know that.
I might be totally fucking this right now, but there's a book that I read that stars a bunch of mice that are fully human smart, but also fully mouse body, not rat. Obviously,
do they have technology?
Yeah, they have technology, but they're using mice bodies. They're little shitty mice bodies.
Is that where they go underground? It's called there's a little human that's involved in it too.
Probably.
I feel like I've seen the cover of a book that has a big mouse, or maybe it's a rat, and there's a kid there too. And they're underground and it looks all like steampunk.
Kid and a mouse underground. That might be it. I don't remember the book very well. Okay. Opposite.
Also,
bottom.
Poppy. Poppy is another example of a book mouse. And Poppy lives in a field and has a completely mouse life. So that might be also. But Poppy,
it's he's towards does he farm?
Well, Poppy's a girl. No, she doesn't
I'm
farm.
sorry.
She just runs away from owls and stuff, but the narrative gives her very human judgment and senses.
So I'm gonna say just a little bit above halfway into human cognitive.
Yeah, that's probably good. But all the way left on mouse.
Yeah. I want to think of something that's in the bottom right-hand corner. So that's all the way human physical and all the way mouse cognitive.
That's scary to think about.
That time in Gravity Falls where Seuss swaps bodies with
Doesn't he swap
Waddles?
with the pig?
Yeah, you're right.
That's not mouse at all.
But that's that's the idea.
That's the idea, though.
Can we think of someone who's just really dumb and then make fun of them for being dumb by putting them there?
It specifically has to be mouse brain. They specifically have to have the mind of a mouse but the body of a human.
Yeah.
Which would have to involve some kind of magic body swap shenanigans that would be funny.
Is there a time in a movie where the commander goes up to his other soldiers and he's like, "Are you a man? Are you a mouse?" And then the soldier sarcastically "I'm a mouse."
That would be a good
That would
one.
probably count, but I can't think of one.
Only if they comedic for funny cartoon effect started acting like a mouse.
Perfectly.
That would be it.
All right. This is for right now. This is the missing link.
Yeah, missing link. That's one of the biggest mice mysteries.
Yeah, this is what I'm gonna write my thesis on.
Yeah.
What
the
are
mousing link, you could even say.
The mousing link.
What about Jerry?
He's smart.
He is
And also
smart.
kind of human-y.
Yeah, maybe he's a little bit left of Mickey.
Yeah.
And maybe a little. He's a little
less
left
human
and down.
physical. Yeah.
Because he doesn't participate in society. He still just wants cheese, and avoid cat, and all the other classic mouse.
How
actions.
about Pinky and the Brain?
Who's that?
Oh, so there was a children's animated TV show that I previously have told you about called Animaniacs.
Oh.
And it has a lot of different segments. And
There's
one
a
of the
but
segments
they're all-
is
no one knows
Pinky
what
and the
animal
Brain.
they are.
No. Not Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. There's a separate segment called Pinky and the Brain, which stars 2 lab mice, one of which is extremely smart and one of which is dumb but not mouse dumb, just human dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And every episode, Brain comes up with a plan on how to take over the world. And he's like, Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering? And Pinky says, yeah, Brain, but how are we gonna get 10,000 marbles in only 3 hours? And Brain says, no, Pinky, you dumb fuck. And I've come up with a magnet that I'll place at the center of the earth, and it'll pull the coins in everyone's pockets down to the ground, and then they'll be stuck there. And then I can go and kidnap a bunch of people.
Oh, evil.
Yeah, and then comedy ensues. They never take over the world successfully.
I think evil is probably more of a human cognitive behavior.
Yeah, he's also human smart. They both are, honestly.
Okay,
but they're mouse-sized.
Are they mouse body?
They are both bipedal, but they have mouse hands. So that's like a Remy level. They're like almost exactly the same as Remy from Ratatouille.
I mean, mice do kind of have hands.
Yeah.
Like a mouse's hand, if you look at a picture of a mouse's hand, they have little hands and they can kind of manipulate objects.
Yeah, they can.
They couldn't like type on a little keyboard, but they can pick something up. They can take a pinch of spice and throw it in the soup.
They can pull on hair.
Especially because for them, the spice is like a bunch of gravel or like wood chips.
Yeah. Well, they can grab stuff.
Yeah, they can grab. They could hold on by their front feet onto something, like if they're falling off something they can hold on and grab.
Yeah, like a boat in the sewers.
Yeah.
All right. I'd say they both are like human cognitive all the way, and then human physical like just a little bit.
Mhm. What about Miss Frisbee and the Rats of Nim? Not the rats, but Miss Frisbee.
I don't know Rats of Nim.
Well, she cares about her family. She's a mother and she has like some kids and one of them's sick. And she goes and asks an owl for help or something, and then she asks rats for help. And she knows that the plow is going to destroy her nest. But she can't move her nest because her son is sick. And he can't make the move, so she's going to look for someone to help her son or someone to help them move the nest. I think what the rats end up doing is they end up physically helping her move her nest with their like advanced engineering, because they did psychology experiments on the rats and made them really smart. In the book they do something really cool. In the movie I think they don't do something as cool, but the mouse herself is kind of like, I think, more on the human. She's also kind of bipedal. She wears a little cape. But I think Miss Frisbee goes like maybe a little bit. Who else do we have on there? We have Jerry and Mickey. I think she's a little more human than Jerry.
Okay.
Like cognitively. She might even be more cognitively human than No, Mickey's fully human cognitively.
Well, he's not like the smartest human.
Mickey drinks a cup of coffee. That's my headcanon about him.
On the way to set, he's got his donut and his cup of coffee.
I think about Mickey
and
like
he's talking like a smoker.
No. I mean, I think of Mickey. He doesn't eat cheese. I can't see him having a block of cheese and really enjoying it, but I can see him holding a cup of coffee.
He drinks black coffee.
Or like sitting in a cafe, like by the river, drinking a cup of coffee. That's how I picture.
Where does Mickey Mouse live? If he
Probably
lived
like
on
LA.
Earth? I was thinking like France.
Oh.
Like,
Well,
he's a little
that's kind
cultural.
of his persona, though. That's kind of just his persona in
So you think
certain
he?
media, I think.
So you think he is just? He's like an actor.
Yeah, I think he's just an actor. I think he just gets paid by Disney, and he
Is
lives
he kind of?
wherever's
Is he kind
convenient.
of like pretentious and like if my?
Yeah, that's it. Keep going.
if my clothes isn't ironed yet, I'm gonna go to my trailer and I'm gonna sit there until they get out. Okay. Okay. And then he sips his coffee and
You
storms
think
off.
he's like a diva?
Yeah. Well, he also that's also documented that he cries all the time, right? Wasn't
does?
that another thing we said about him?
No.
Because
he
all of
cries.
he's the only one that's
he's
alive.
just kind of bitter.
Yeah,
I
he's
guess.
bitter because all the people around him die
That's true.
constantly.
I mean, it's hard to
Like
say.
Minnie Mouse dies every 8 years or however long a mouse. 2 years.
I mean, but it's hard to say, and that's also just a theory. First of all, because if we go with the Shamu theory, or just the theory that they keep all of his friends and family alive and he's all set, then he might have a different personality. But the truth is, no one really knows Mickey Mouse, so no one really knows what he's like as a person and not an actor.
What do you think? You think Mickey dated around in high school, or you think he met Minnie in like middle school and they were middle school friends,
Did he even
and then
go
they
to
started
high school?
dating in sophomore year?
Did he even go to
Like,
high school?
alright, do you think Mickey Mouse has dated anyone other than Minnie ever?
I mean, I'm trying to picture his early life because I really don't know what happened to him.
He'd probably just be like shorter and with a higher pitched voice.
Do you think he went to a high school with other mice or with humans? Like,
I think it'd be mixed animals.
I don't think we're ready to
Mixed
go into.
bipedal animals.
I really don't think we're ready. Oh, like Daffy Duck and like Goofy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
but-
that's the universe he
But
lives in.
Goofy's son, when Goofy's in his own little world, it's just a dog world.
It's a dog.
And Daffy has his own little duck world. So I'm assuming following that trend.
Maybe it's just they have like segregated cities.
Maybe. I think either Mickey Mouse.
You think there's a Jim Crow law, except it's with a crow? Wait, Jim Crow
Well,
is
they
like a
do
character
have
in the Disney
racist
universe.
thing in the Dumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we should acknowledge that as a part of the canon, though, because they probably don't anymore. They wouldn't be proud to acknowledge that as a part of the
Yeah, they
canon
cut it
anymore.
out of the live action Dumbo. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
They didn't like alter it. They just cut it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, they also cut "Make a Man Out of You" song out of Mulan.
And
so
all the
could've-
other songs.
And all the other songs.
Well, Mulan wasn't allowed to be a good movie. That was
Yeah.
They wanted to make it worse.
Disney isn't doing anything good. Everything they've done lately, like they're the foundation of so many nice movies and nice memories. And now everything they're doing is just shit. Like, what are kids these days gonna think?
When you say that, do you mean exclusively Disney brand things or things that Disney owns?
Disney brand things. Like, instead of making more nice, lovely movies that everyone likes, they're just taking ones that already exist and making a really shitty version of it. Which is so bad, and nobody likes them. And why are they still doing this?
I haven't seen any of them. I've just heard about them.
I haven't either, but I've
And
seen enough.
I don't know if this is the case for all children, but like for my younger cousins, I know they just watched I've seen them also watch the animated originals.
Well, that's great then. So they can just keep using those forever. So is there any purpose to making? I guess it's money.
It's a lot of money.
But if they're just, doesn't it do harm to them as a company too? Because now everyone thinks, oh, Disney's putting out a new movie, it's gonna suck. Like the last 20 movies they made all sucked.
Yeah, it harms their brand, but in a way that I don't think they care about. Because their main consumers don't give a shit.
But if the 6-year-olds are consuming the older products,
they're not. I mean, I thought Candyland was good when I was 6. Maybe not 6 specifically.
I still like the Candyland franchise a lot, even if the game isn't like a game of strategy.
It's not even a game.
Well, a game is any interaction between people.
No, it's not. You don't make any decisions.
No, it's not. But, okay, the game of Candyland is really stupid. But the franchise of Candyland, and I have watched the entire Candyland movie one time.
There's a Candyland movie?
And I watched it.
Who made it? Who owns
That's
Candyland?
one of the biggest mysteries in the field of candy. That's something that just candy experts are baffled over that. It was on YouTube. No one knows who put something on YouTube.
Where's it come from?
Nobody knows.
No one. YouTube. Everyone who uploads to YouTube uses a torrent, and there's no way that they can track
their
it.
Their profile picture is one of those like V for Vendetta masks, and their
it's
username.
We Are Anonymous.
Their username is just a bunch of numbers.
Try to find me, bitch.
Yeah, try to find me, bitch, with like eyes and the 1s and the 7s replaced.
Yeah.
So it's time for the podcast to end, and what should we do to end it? I was thinking maybe we could fake our own deaths in a dramatic way at the end of every episode, and then at the beginning of every episode pretend that we've been revived or cloned or something. How do you feel about that?
I think you're really overestimating how good of actors, at the very least, how good of an actor I am. I mean, I could try. Oh God! Ah! 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 Ah!